Squids TV, week 14, 1 week to playoffs. Mara, how crispy is my audio right now? Is it
Yeah, it's
crispy
tough.
than normal?
Yeah, it's good.
I feel good, Mara. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Big week.
Big week. Um, we're gonna cut right to business here. No bullshit today. This is serious business. 1 week out from the 2024 playoffs. Me and Mara are already in. We're not sweating. You know who's sweating?
A
Spade
lot
is
of people.
sweating. Team Gear is sweating. Bustin' Nut is sweating. Frank's sweating. Johnny's sweating.
Ooh,
But
Johnny.
before we talk about those five, a moment of silence for King Semantics officially, and your mother makes bad sauce. May God have mercy on your souls. Remember that time Steve traded Bijan Robinson to Fulvio? I do too. Um, Mar,
Yeah.
we got those five teams I mentioned. Two of them 6-7, three of them 5-8, all fighting for two playoff spots. This is a big week.
A really big week. Yeah,
Big week.
that's putting it lightly. This is
Yeah, I
huge.
mean, again, I don't feel it. I don't think you feel it. I don't really care who makes it out of them. Um, all I want to do is just make sure that I stay as the 3 seed. That's the only thing that I'm worried about because I do not want to be on Fulvio's side of the bracket. Thoughts? You're locked in. You're you're playing Fulvio this week. He doesn't have a quarterback. I don't think he's going to pick one up. So you actually could be the 1 seed.
Ooh, that's we're gonna see what happens. That'd be crazy if he doesn't play full roster, but we'll see. No.
I mean, why would you if you're him? You're locked into one or two. What are you going to drop? Like, I don't know, like a good hand, going to drop Algier, who's like a handcuff to your guy now, just to play a meaningless week's 14 game.
Never know.
What would you do? Would you play a guy?
Yeah, I would.
Interesting. Anyway, excuse me. Mara, I'll pull up the screen here. We could talk about what the matchups are looking like. Before we do that, I almost forgot we should do power rankings.
Power rankings, sure.
This is the
So,
last time he's going to pull up, right? Do we do power
yeah,
going to playoffs?
yeah. No power rankings in playoffs.
This is it.
This is the last week, final week.
Did you like give him a hug or something, or
No,
business as usual?
yeah. He handed over the briefcase and that's it.
Walked away. He didn't even no regard from him either.
No.
He didn't even like look back when he got in the car, like cracked the window a little bit. Nothing.
He said, see you next year. And then that's it. He walked away.
Oh, he said something. Wow. Okay. Anyway. All right. Go ahead. Rip it out.
At number 12, remaining at 12 for probably a record amount of weeks, Rob. 11, Sauce. Down 3 spots to 10 is Rue. Ice cold. Team is
Yeah, not
ice.
looking good. Not looking good for him. And I know he has Malik Neighbors. He's not going to play this week, so he's playing for his life without one of his better players. It's a tough scene.
And we got Frank. Could be brewing onto something. Big
Coming off
win.
a win, he beat Fulvio last week, right?
Huge win.
Huge win. He should be higher. He should be higher than you in the rankings. You beat Fulvio that one time. You've been hanging your hat on ever since.
You know who hasn't beat me and Phil in the same season?
In the same, I will go look that up. That 100% has happened. I will look that up, and you will eat your words next week. You will eat your word next week.
Um, Bust at 5 and 8, 8 seed. He's looking. He got
Oh,
right out.
ironic that your Super Bowl pick slid into the 5 seed there. That's interesting.
Dan
The
at
man in the suit,
7.
man. The man in the suit. He's
Dan at 7. Down 1 spot, man. Dan is fighting for his life, fighting for his
mhm.
playoff life.
Yep.
Gear at 6. At 6 and 7, he might lock himself into a playoff spot. And then
Yep.
we have the clinchers: Tiso, Salad, Dennis, Freety, and Fu. Freety, lone possession of the 10-3 record in this league. Fu, the lone possession of 11-2. Dennis at 9-4, coming off a loss. Salad, I think it's 8-5. Yeah. So
All right. There's your power rankings. Last one of the year. Everyone, moment of silence for the man in the suit. We'll miss him very much until 2025. All right. Good moment of silence. All right. Man, let me pull it up here.
last week's picks.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right, last week we had Freety versus Sauce. Freety took that one. Fu versus Frank. Frank took that one. Dust versus Tiso. Tiso took that one.
Yep.
Dan versus Gear. Dan did not take that one. Sorry, Gear.
No, Gear won that one.
Salad versus Rob. Salad took that one. And Bust versus Rue. Bust took that one. Might have just knocked Johnny out of playoffs with that win. Could have locked himself in. 152-point performance. Scary. 36 from
Yeah.
Drew.
36 from Judy. And he had hitters on the bench too.
You
Florida
know,
with 15.
that puts me 5-2 on the week. That also puts Dennis 5-2 on the week. On the season, I am 63 and 27. Dennis is
Wow.
56 and 34. Mortals, I'm 9 and 2. Dennis is 5 and 6.
I didn't
So
bang the mortal last week.
you had Dan mortaled last week.
That it was Frank. Damn it. All right. All right, fine. Not my best years with the picks, but people talk about the real winners show up in the playoffs.
All right.
I will not miss a playoff game. I will pick every game correct. That is a guarantee. It's an absolute guarantee. So if I don't pick you in the playoffs, your season's over. Um, Man, let's get into this week's matchups. I haven't really looked at it to be honest. It feels like there's going to be at least one irrelevant game, right? But now that I'm looking at it spaced out, it
I
might
don't
actually.
think, no, like, unless people who clinched, there's real, actually, look at that down the list. There's no irrelevant game.
No, there's not.
There's no irrelevant game. I'm not even
No,
joking.
none of the 5 and 8 teams are
I
playing
think
each
that
other,
me versus Fu is the only irrelevant game.
which like isn't really irrelevant because you're playing for the one seed.
Yeah.
Although you'd have to beat Fulvio. I looked at it before. You'd have to beat him by 50 points to get the one seed, which you're not going to do.
To have the same record and points for it.
Yeah, you're going to have less points for him if you win, unless you win by 50. So let's start with you guys. Essentially, the battle for the one seed. Fulvio, no quarterback at this point, still projected to win, which I think is a testament of how ridiculous his team is. Thoughts on Jaden Reed? One target last night.
The lines are nice. That's all
The
I gotta
lines
say.
are so good. The lines are so good. It's ridiculous. I do have a future on the Packers to win the Super Bowl, and I felt awesome last night watching them play until the end when the Lions just walked on the field and kicked the field goal with no time left. That was very upsetting.
Yeah, so get this out of here now. Get it out on the regular season. He'll be back next week. I'll talk to him. I talked to him after the game. We were on good terms. He'll be fine. Not worried about him.
So if Cortland Sutton's playing, he's playing over Jaden Reed, right?
We'll play our best players when the week comes.
But who's the better player, him or Cortland
Play the
Sutton?
best player week by week. He goes week by week.
Okay. Fulvio, no quarterback this week, as mentioned. I don't think he's going to play one just because if you look at his team, who are you cutting here? If you cut Algier, it's your top handcuff.
I
God
mean,
forbid Bijan goes down.
Odunze, he's not ever going to play Odunze, but
Yeah, but like, what does that gain?
just saying.
He's still the one seed anyway, unless you go off, which I'll be honest with you, you're not.
Sure, I'm not. I can't go off. If a player put up 0 points. Dennis, good job.
Sharp. That's why they pay me to do this show.
Yeah.
Um, Mara, you want to make a pick here?
Myself, like, I don't
Okay.
know why you're asking me these questions.
I have
Who,
to. I'm legally obligated to.
who are you picking, bro?
I'm gonna pick you as well. How clear did that come through?
Nice. It was nice.
Thank you. I'm really working. I'm fucking with this new mic. I stole it from my brother. Um, if you lose to Fulvio and he doesn't play a quarterback, I think you should have to bench your team in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, Dennis.
I think that's a good idea, just because like that's so embarrassing if you lose to like a team without a quarterback.
Let's go to your matchup now.
Okay. So I went with you. You went with you as well. Okay.
Mm.
My matchup. I'm playing against Tom, busting up four chicken. His team is pretty scary. I had two guys go last night, my two best guys. Gibbs gave me a touchdown, which was huge because he really didn't have that good of a game. St. Brown did nothing for me. I think he got Jair Alexander the whole time. Tough scene. We're gonna need more from him in the playoffs. I'm behind the eight ball here. Um, I have no Nico Collins this week. I have no Fairbairn this week. I don't have a kicker in yet, but I will have one. Probably come Sunday morning, approximately 9:30 a.m. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. It's gonna be me. It was always me. Tom's team is dangerous. I'm hoping to keep him out of the playoffs. But if he wins, I don't care. It's my Super Bowl regardless. What do you think?
Okay. You picked yourself. Even though you came off a little slow start on Thursday, I really think it might catch up to you. I'm bust. My Super Bowl pick, you know, he's a throw a wrench in these playoffs, coming from like what, 1-8 on the season or whatever he was.
Yeah,
So,
2-8, I think.
so
Has
yeah,
he won three in a row? Is that actually true?
yeah, bro, he's been ripping them off.
I wasn't say it here. Damn.
I'll tell you right now. But yeah, I'm gonna pick bust. He's hot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Coming off 155 though, did he blow his load too early? People are
could be.
saying. People are saying. No, looking at my matchups, I'm up against the wall here.
3 game winning streak.
Yeah, no. Looking at the matchups, I don't have very good matchups here. But I do have wide receiver one. What do you think about that?
He doesn't have a spot on my team. That's what I gotta say.
Interesting. You're tight today. Why are you tight? Fortnite
I'm
not
just
working out for you?
talking about facts. Facts.
All right.
Facts.
You sound like Con. Or Con sounds like you, I should say. All right, anyway. All right, so I'm going myself. You went with Murtaugh. All right, now we get into well, that is a huge game, right? Murtaugh fighting
Yeah.
for his life. He's
He
behind the
wins.
eight ball. He needs a win. And sorry, where's the standings
But
here?
no. Right now, technically, it's not a win and in for him.
No,
Frank Frank is also 5-8. Bust is 5-8. Bust has 10 more points for than Frank. So if they both win and Frank puts up 10 more points than him, which we'll go to that game, we'll see who went off for him early.
right.
Um, could be the difference.
Yeah,
Could be
absolutely.
an absolute difference maker.
And looking ahead, I did see Gear's team had a couple guys on bye, so that's massive for both of these teams, considering points for he's way behind. So a Gear loss and a bust win and a Frank win, they both jump.
And
There's some scenarios that we can get into. We could sit here all day doing that, but um, let's keep diving through. So let's jump into you want to do spade semantics.
yeah, let's do it.
I think this is a long story short one. Rob's up against the wall here. Wicks played last night, 6 points. It's just not good. Demarcus Robinson. I mean, we talk about it all the time. He's got no defense right now. I'm sure I'll pick someone up to play. Um, Dan Christian Watson last night would have been a nice kickoff for the week. I'm going with Dan just because of that's what the projection tells me to do, and I just question this guy Garindo's going to do anything that well. So, um, give me Spades. Spades punching his way to the playoffs. Congrats, Dan. I'm making it 7-7. Congrats to the
I also
committee.
I also picked Dan this week. Like you said, he wins, he's in.
Yeah,
Like
winning in. This is the true winning in.
need just for points for over gear. He just needs a win. That's it. Like he needed a win 2 weeks ago. He couldn't get it. He lost last week. No, 3 weeks ago he needed a win. He couldn't get it. He got one other win. Then he took a loss. He needed just to win 2 out of the 3.
Yeah,
Now it's coming down 2 out of the 4. Last
yeah,
chance. Cannot blow this one, Dan.
yeah. Winning in. He's like you said. He's pretty clear in terms of points for, unless it would have to be such a crazy scenario for all three teams to jump him, considering Gear is probably going to lose. Um,
They can't. If Dan wins, well, technically Dan can still make it if he loses, based on
yes, I'm saying
the
if he wins, he's 100% in. But if he loses, it's going to take a ton to kind of get him into that ninth spot. He's got to be like if we had a playoff predictor, he's got to be like 88% or something.
I like Dan's chance to make it and being the 6th seed. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, if you're Dan, right, don't worry about anything else. You'd have to just win. Luckily for Dan, he gets a team that's unfortunately down and out. People are calling that collusion. I don't know. The collusion commissioner has gone rogue on us, so I can't even consult him. But people are saying, people are saying, shout out to Dan, winning in. Best of luck. Next, let's look at the collusion king. Dick
big
Pickens gets gear, as mentioned. Jonathan Taylor on a bye, Dalton Schultz on a bye, Kicker on a bye. He's probably not going to change anyone. Um, Kind of anticlimactic, but Salah's in already. He's probably going to win this one. How does this affect seeding for the top guys? Can he jump me? He can.
Um,
If he wins and I lose, he'll jump me. That's not good for me. I
let's
do
do
not
the
want to be on that side of the bracket.
yeah.
So I really need to win. I don't think I'm going to get one too, which sucks. So, Fu, I'll see you in the semifinals. And if you lose, that'd be really sad.
A lot of shaking up could be happening right now. After we take our prediction, we'll take a look at the bracket. We'll try to break it down a little bit, but yeah, I think I know I think Pooch might play a team. He has done that to us that we're like, oh yeah, no shot. He plays a team, ends up playing one, and he would win if he plays a team. Kareem Hunt is not him anymore. I like Pickens.
Oh, he's irrelevant now, which I'm honestly surprised.
They
I
haven't
mean,
even
he can't
tried
do
yet.
anything else, right? He really can't do anything else. He's got a
Um,
James Conner. Yeah, I mean, is what it is.
Warren,
No Derrick Henry from this week, but I don't think it'll matter.
I'm still taking Salah.
Yeah, I mean, you think Gear will put a lineup out there?
I think he will.
I feel like he hasn't updated in forever.
Well, that'd be a sad way to lose, right? Get out, kicked out of the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't even know if he knows that he's a game in the playoffs.
I'm
Anyway,
saying
yeah, we'll go with Salah. Salah, congrats on the title. Um, let's see. All right, now we get into the real heavy hitters here. Let's go with Rue. Rue fighting for his life, playing against the Jeffersons. Who is he down? All of the commanders are out this week. It's his whole team pretty much. McLaurin out, QB1 out, Robinson out. He's got Kenny Walker still. He's got Dowdle, who Johnny dropped, which he's such an asshole for dropping this guy. And I'm an asshole for not picking him up. I remember I got beat out on waivers for that. I'm still not happy about it. I mean, yeah, Tisso's down three guys, and he's only projected to lose by 25.
John's been searching for an RB2 and he dropped one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, imagine how good the team would be with it.
You'd be in the playoffs already. He would have clinched.
Probably. As I said before, when he got Johnny Smith, it's a good pickup. Malik Neighbors probably isn't going to play, so I'm going to assume that he's not going to play, which means Adam Thielen would slot in. Arguably a better option at this point, considering how terrible the Giants are. I'm still going to go with the Jeffersons. I think he fields a lineup. I think his team is just better, even without the starting quarterback and receiver and running back. I don't care. Give me the Jeffersons. Rue the day. Tough year for Rue. 5-8. I'm projecting him to lose to go to 5-9. Probably his worst season in Squids.
Yeah.
Unlucky, unlucky year.
I am to be on the opposite side of that pick. I'm going to take Rue. I think a miracle. I mean, miracles happen every day. You know,
Sure.
I'm going to give it to Johnny's side. For what reason? No reason. Just I think he will win.
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
don't think
I mean, there
like
is a world, right? Tiso gains little to nothing dropping some of these guys. Like, who are you going to drop on this team?
yeah, I think that's the thing. I don't think he is going to drop enough players to field a full roster at this point either. So
Yeah, I mean, he's in a spot. I guess like Cooper is droppable in my opinion.
the
Xavier
only
Woods
one he'll drop is
probably.
Worthy. That's really it. But
I think both these guys are droppable. Obviously, you're not dropping any of these guys. I mean, this guy Rodriguez too is a cuff.
I mean,
It's nice
exactly.
to
But
have,
same
but
situation as Fu. Is he going to drop one of these players for meaningless win? Like,
Fu only has to drop one though. He'd have to drop a couple. It looks like.
yeah. So I'm going to give it to Rue. Feeling a full lineup. Sometimes just
Yeah,
availability is the best thing you can have.
the best ability.
Availability is the best ability.
There you go. You got it. That was sharp. That was sharp. Yeah, give me the Jefferson just because I got to make up picks. But you're right. There's a very good possibility he just doesn't play anyone, and I understand that too from Tiso. So, good luck to Tiso in the playoffs. We'll talk about him real soon. Um, this last matchup, did we do everything else?
Yep.
Last matchup, Frank the Tank, my Super Bowl pick, versus Bad Sauce. Bad Sauce, like we said, eliminated. He got 3 touchdowns to the Jacobs last night. Big start. Jordan Love kind of anticlimactic, didn't play too well, but he's off to a big lead. I
You
don't
know
know,
what?
just rolling through. What do you
I love
think?
I love his team. We all ripped on McConkey, the fifth round pick.
Yeah,
McConkey has turned out the last like back half of the season, week eight on, or like week eight, nine, and 10, but like week eight, week 11, 12, 13, like these last 3 weeks,
yeah.
great.
You know, he's
So,
turning into a
so
consistent target.
a 23-year-old Mr. Little McConkey,
What kind of
looking for
accent was that?
Mr. McConkey. Anyway, I
There's,
love Lad. I
he's
love Lad.
becoming an asset for this guy.
Little
Becoming
Lad.
an asset for that
Um,
team. It's a good pick. It was a terrible pick at the time, but it's shaping up to be a pretty good pick.
I would love that they both gentlemen. Oh no, never mind. He's Tennessee defense he could play, but I was saying both don't have defenses in the roster right now. But yeah, they could play. They have rosters. They play people to play. So
You know,
never
they're
mind.
both going to start. They're both going to start one.
Okay, Frank.
Yeah, I'm going to go Frank too. I do appreciate Steve making the effort now in the last couple weeks to throw a lineup together. It would have been nice to see a couple weeks
I
earlier.
don't appreciate it. I don't because he could have done it all season. And he would have been in the playoffs. So I'm saying it right now.
You
But
think
that's
he would
fine.
have made it?
Bro, at this point, you need fucking 5 or 6 wins. He has three, and he just started playing rosters, like lineups.
That is true. Five would get him in the conversation at least. And he definitely punted a couple weeks just by not playing anyone. Um, so yeah, you could spin it that way as well. I have to appreciate it.
I
But I'm going Frank, like you said.
Who are you going tomorrow? You could pick anyone. We went through everyone. And then next week we're gonna start fresh again. So
Okay.
it's the one.
Well, there's a couple layups, right? You can mortal King Henry, you can mortal Spades. That's no
Let's,
fun.
let's try not to do layups. Who you mortal?
Give me the 50-50. I think Fulvio beats you without a quarterback, and it'd be very funny just to mortal you or against you, and then come back to this in a week and say, hey, remember that time you lost to a guy without a quarterback? I'm gonna go with Marvin Drew.
I'm gonna go Rue. A little off the beaten path.
Ooh, okay, that's a layup. He's not playing anyone.
Hey, remember that time Rue beat the no roster team? You never know.
Okay, fine.
No roster.
Fine. I
I'm gonna take
respect it.
Rue just on the fact that yeah, Tiso might not roster a full lineup.
Right.
Uh,
No, totally fair. Totally fair. So, okay. Looking at it, Rue looks like he's going to pick up a win, which is massive for the playoff picture.
you have the bracket. Can you see the bracket here or no?
I can.
Right
Here's
there.
your projected bracket right now. So, from the top, this is assuming Murtaugh makes the playoffs. He would play Fu in the first round. Are these projections? These are projections for this week. These are for this week. Oh, no, for next week because he's got guys out as well. Um, would be Fulvio Murtaugh, Salatiso, me versus the commish, you versus Gear. And again, the bottom four or the bottom three spots could shake out in a bunch of different ways. You could see Johnny in there. You could see the tank in there. Um,
Although they're playing for the poop king. Look, go back down there.
yeah, the toilet bowl. The toilet bowl. I would love this is again where I'd love to call the collusion commissioner because I think he's the punishment commissioner now. Are we doing the punishment? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, that's true. Once we get league realignment, how like the college football playoff just went through that whole thing where like everyone changed conferences and stuff. I think we have to do that this year. And I think a part of that rebuild of the Squids League is we have to implement a punishment.
I think we should. That'd be pretty cool to make divisions. I don't know if it'll have any impact, but
I would love that. And
I
then like
kind
keep them consistent every year, like you always have. Like me and you are always in the same division, or like whoever. That way you have like real rivals.
yeah.
Could be very funny. But how
Well,
would you
rival leagues so can make those divisions. Like we know who the rivals are, but anyway, that'll be fun.
would you do teams of three or
So
divisions of three?
a 4-3s, yeah.
I kind of love that. And then just the winner division gets out. You get an automatic bid to the playoffs, and you just go next
Yeah.
best from there. That's sick.
Like you could be a 2-win team, make the playoffs because you're the
And just make
division.
it because everyone else stinks. I love that because like the real playoffs, right? Like the whatever division, the NFC
But then
South's gonna have a team in that stinks. Like it's gonna be
when
the
you have a
Falcons.
fucking stacked fucking division and you don't make it because you're in the last in your division with 10 wins,
Oh, the people crying. Like I would be bitching if I didn't make it and had a good team and like whoever made it in with a shit team. I think that'd
so
be very fun. I think it'd be very.
again, you're
But
watching
those
that.
are those
Keep it
are that's off season talk. We could talk about that after the Super Bowl.
after
Uh,
dinner with who has to coordinate.
It should be the champ.
So you're saying I have to coordinate it?
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes. Congrats on the title, man.
let's look at some scenarios. Let's just do that. So right now, this is
Okay.
just go back to that thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Let's say the top five seeds, just for argument's sake, are locked.
Okay.
You, me,
Salah and Tiso.
Tisa. Okay. Right. Let me pull up on my phone so I could double screen this. So and and Salah. So now we have spades, gear, and bust.
Yep.
I think we both pick gear to lose.
We did.
And let's say Frank wins. They have the same record. That knocks gear out. Bust. That's going to be the hardest one to think. All right, let's say Tank goes in gear spot. Put Tank in
Okay.
gear.
Okay. And then everything else stays as it is.
And then let's say Dan wins.
Yeah. I
What
think
could
that's
throw?
the I think that's the
Could
likely
throw
outcome.
what could throw? Actually, it won't throw a wrench because if Johnny wins, he's not in because he has way less points than Bust.
Right. I think the likely outcome is sorry, let me pull it back up here. Right. Um Jesus. Is Gear loses, right? Because I don't think he's gonna field the lineup.
Six
That
spades.
bumps
Frank wins.
and I'm gonna say Bust wins because he probably will win.
Okay, so
Bust
that
wins and the tank moves up. I think you'd knock Gear out and your ending would be
you're just swapping Frank
Spades,
for gear.
Spades, Bust, Frank,
Well,
Gear.
Frank has more points than Bust. Way more points.
Frank has six less points.
Oh, I was looking at points again. Sorry. Never mind.
No, points against the king is Frank the Tank. It's tough. Plays no
So,
defense.
so push. So it'll just be 8-9. Okay, 8-9 becomes 7-8.
Right. I think you just move Gear down the list to here, and then it would be Spades, Bust, Nut, Frank is your likely outcome. And then up on top, you might get movement, right? If Sal's gonna win, I probably lose. You can get a flip there, which would suck. I guess similar with the Jeffersons too. He could technically jump me too. I could jump all the way down to five. Regardless of the movement up top, I think that'll be your bottom three that get in. So, if we call it based on that, you would have Fulvio versus the tank, Salatiso, barring any movement between us, myself included there, and these two. Um,
That stays.
this would stay, and then you versus Tom.
Oh,
Yeah.
I need Tom to not make that. I do not want to play Tom week one.
Yeah. Um,
But
okay, we
hey,
got we got we got 10 minutes left. Let's predict the bracket as if that was actually what happened. You want to do that?
sure. Let's predict the bracket.
Just if that's the scenario, we're doing bracketology. Bracketology brought to you by um what are we sponsored by? Give me something. By Graziella's in town. The best deli around. I had it for lunch today. It's fantastic. Good chicken cutlet, very thin, very crispy, and good bread. And great coffee. Um, and they have a sandwich called the Little Mo Mozzarella. It's very good.
Dennis?
You think I froze it? That was good, right? Anyway, so we'd have who the hell did we say was the eight seed? Frank. Fulvio versus Frank. Fulvio's gonna win the whole thing, so Fulvio wins, right? Salatiso is an absolute coin flip. This is like Chiefs Bills right here. I personally, and you could chime in here if you think differently. I think Tiso's the next best team after Fulvio.
It's close, man. It is close.
I think and that's not a slight to you. I think his team is just ridiculous. Um, with the receivers mainly. Brian Robinson and Kenny Walker are pretty consistent. I feel like they just get in the end zone, so like you're just going to get 10 points from him anyway. Um, and then with the receivers that he has, it's going to be a tough team to beat. Um, the first three time maybe he was the first two time. Could he be the first three time?
That would be big for the league. You put him.
He'd be like the Patriots.
you know.
Me
So
versus Dan would also be a good matchup. I don't know. I'm not happy with my team at this point. I liked when I had Dobbins. He was a pretty consistent, same kind of thing, like 10-point guy. Get a couple catches, get 70 yards. So I was always getting like that slotted RB2 number. He's hurt. Gus Edwards looked horrible. They have a terrible playoff matchup now, or playoff schedule. Gus Edwards does, and I just don't trust him. I'm in trouble. I really needed that guy Garindo and have him to be good.
I would pick you still.
I think I still would pick me, but I don't think, and I'm not even trying to be like facetious. I really thought I could win. And now that Dobbins out, I don't think I can win anymore, but I'm still going to talk shit like I can. I would still pick myself here, but I think I would lose to you in the second round. So
Yeah,
I think you would, unless this is Tom and Tom just continues to be on fire,
it would be me and Tom based on this projection, and I
I
not
would
to
pick
lose.
myself to lose to either of those teams.
You know,
So that would
he,
mean you or Tom in the championship versus, again, my opinion, probably Tiso.
ooh, that
Tiso Tom Bowl, that would be electric.
that would be funny. That would be really good.
That would be electric. I do want to do something for the championship. Maybe we do the championship. We have like a live stream where like we get them together and we just put them on a stream and let them watch Red Zone or something. I think that would be hilarious. That way you can like tune in, big touchdown for whoever, and then you can see him fucking celebrate. Whoever that is, I think we should do something like that for the league, or at least get together and watch it that way. Like I don't know, there'd be moments.
Damn, it's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good one. There's gonna be some movement at the top this week. I have a feeling this is not even nearly set in stone. But I'm looking forward to it. Do you have any other thing to say?
No, no, 6 minutes left. Good luck to everyone out there for the guys trying to fight your way in. Best of luck. Except for Tom. Tom, I kind of want to beat you this week because I don't want to be the 4 or 5 seed. So I kind of hope you lose. But best of luck to everyone,
Yeah,
regardless.
Dennis, nothing you can do worse is that you let him into the playoffs and then you play him again and he beats you, you know?
Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough. Like I said, now that Dobbins is down for me, I have no expectations anymore. It's in the Lord's hands.
You know. All right.
So we'll see. Mara, closing thoughts? Anything?
I want to see who's gonna rise from those bottom teams because the bottom teams, even Frank, we're not talking about Frank enough, to be honest. That's my final thought. We're not talking about Frank enough. Ooh, he could do something big.
Shh.
I
Don't talk
talked a
about
lot
my
of shit
guy.
on Frank's
Don't talk about
name.
my guy.
I talked a lot of shit on Frank's name. I'm like, did he even play fantasy? Looks like he knows what he's doing, but could be a little too little too late. Don't know. Big week. You know what
You know,
gets me
this is
fired up? You know what gets me fired up?
what?
Playoff fantasy.
Ooh.
Ooh,
I want more shit talk in this league too. These are career defining moments here. I mean, Tom could start a run of all runs right now. He's the only one talking. He's the only one in that chat chirping anything. Um, Spades has been quiet. I know he's been very humble. He's just trying to get his way in. I think once he's in, he'll start chirping a little bit. Salah's been a martyr this whole year, saying everyone's mushing him. Same thing with Fulvio. Frank, I think, is too new to talk shit, but he should be talking shit. And Johnny not being at Power Team all year is bad for us because he's usually the one talking. I need more shit talk, man. I need more shit talk.
this is a big week. I'm really curious to see the playoffs, and we're gonna. I think people are scared to talk because if
Yes,
they
like
talk and they lose, it
right.
doesn't look. No one
There
wants to
is
look.
like this weird irrational fear of the mush, which like I do think is kind of funny because
This
it's not a thing.
president on the mush.
What would you say?
This league has been presidented on the mush. I feel like.
Yes, we're born and raised in the mush. It's what we do, but stop being afraid of it. I've been saying Fulham's going to win the championship for like 6 years, and he hasn't once. Maybe it is real. Maybe it is real, but it's not. Don't be afraid of it. Accept it. You know what, man? I'm going to win the Super Bowl.
All right, buddy. Take
Why
it
not?
easy,
Why not? I'm not afraid. Don't be afraid. Mary, are you going to win the Super Bowl?
bro. I've been the Super Bowl favorite.
Win.
In my own mind. That's
There
all that
you
matters.
go. There you go. That's the attitude you need. That's the attitude you need. Bring the boom on him one time and then we'll on the show. Good
Well,
luck, everyone. Week 14. We'll be back next week for the playoffs. Godspeed, man.